Christy with greenlivingoffgrid.com, and I'm out here in my garden where I have a watering system set up here on my 3 by 8 foot beds. And today we're going to take a look at this system. I'm going to be showing you how much more efficient it is in watering versus the spraying that I used to do by hand to water all these plants. Now, one thing that I want to encourage you guys to do, if you have a garden or you're starting a garden, take a look at this watering system, because it might make your watering more efficient and save you a lot of time. So let's take a look at how I designed this, and if you're interested, you can buy my video course on how to build a system like this for your garden. Well, here you can see I have a pretty good sized garden that I'm using my watering wand sprayers on, and it used to take me a good 3 hours just to water everything every night with all of these beds, even with just holding a hand sprayer or putting a hand sprayer on a bed and just letting it sit there for a few minutes and then changing it out. It still took me 3 hours to try to get everything deep watered. And the biggest problem is, as everything takes a while to soak in, I wasn't giving my plants enough deep water to be able to get good harvests. I constantly had trouble with the browning on the squashes and zucchinis, and it was just difficult to get that down deep enough into the roots. So with this new watering system, it really has revolutionized my ability to water my garden deeply and thoroughly and give these plants everything that they need. Now, the way I've set up this system, I have a PVC pipe that runs along the top of a PVC structure here that is built over top of my bed. And this PVC pipe has a number of sprayers connected to it that will allow me to adjust the water level. I can do, wide open, which will just make it kind of stream out, or make it fan spray. And what I like about this system is that because I can adjust the water level, I can adjust it for whatever my plant needs. When they're baby plants, they do better with like a light spray versus just a heavy drip down in. But as the plant grows, the biggest problem with squash and large plants like this is the fact that they need a lot of water. If you don't give them enough water, they'll tend to get yellow. These guys are yellow squash, but like my green zucchini will actually get yellow in the end, they'll get brown, and these guys will kind of dry up, and you could tell they're doing really well because they're getting deep watering. And the hardest part about hand spraying is that you have to stand and spray for a long time to get the water down deep. But if I just adjust the sprayer so they're pretty wide open like they are right now, it just drops that water right down to the ground. And yeah, I get a little bit on the leaves right here on the edge, but it goes right down into my beds, which I have prepared with a lot of compost, sphagnum peat moss, and manure, which is allowing it to just fill up that under layer of soil to deep water these roots. And so my plants do really well in a system like this. Another thing that I really like about this system is it's very easy when the plants are small to just slide along the edge of my structure right here. And let's say if I was growing something else in here where I have little plants along the edge and I just want to just move the structure to water some plants, I can move this watering structure right along, the watering wand right on top of my watering grid structure, to be able to pretty much cover my bed and give a little bit more coverage to the area as well. And also, you don't have to stick with 3 sprayers on a 4 by 8 section of a watering structure. You can go with 4 sprayers. I do 3 because I just have this large squashes that I grow in here, and I don't need to have a whole lot of sprayers. But sometimes you'll get, like, if you're planting in between, you might want to put something else in here, kind of space these with a couple sprayers instead of just one, and that will give a real full coverage here on your bed. And so it's very adaptable to whatever watering wand structure you decide to put on top of the watering grid. Another thing, this watering grid has withstood 97-mile-an-hour winds when we got a major snowstorm, I never had any issue with the grid coming out, falling out, because the way I anchor this to the ground, it's very sturdy. When we get winds, I also have these beds connected together with hoses that go in between and touch the ground. And that allows both for easy access between the beds with that. And I usually tie 2 beds together like you see here. Then I give it a little bit of a space, and then I run a new line in to do a second bed. Now I don't have this water running right now. I find that my pump can only really sustain 2 or 3 of these beds at the same time. So I'm just filling 2 beds with water right now at a time. And then another thing that you can do with this watering structure is take it all apart. I set everything up with quick connect fittings. So I just disconnect my hoses in between the beds and just shake out the little sprayers, shake out the PVC, because it all comes apart. You can just take this whole thing out. And so I'll shake these guys out. I don't even worry about blowing them out because they do pretty well. Just as long as I get all the water out, shake them out in the fall, and then I'm able to winterize the watering wand. And because this structure itself doesn't run any water, I can keep this up all year round. And I don't have to worry, even with all the snowdrifts we get over here. Typically we get 4-foot snowdrifts over this garden bed, and these guys hold up just fine. And I have no trouble with them. Now I do zip tie my structure together so that it doesn't actually, fall apart on me. But the watering wand is fairly simple and fairly easy, and I have them connected in such a way it's very easy to winterize, take it apart when I need to. Sprayers are easy to change out if something gets clogged. Once in a while something will get clogged, but they usually last for several years before you have to change anything out. And they're so easy to adjust, just to give just the right amount of water you want for your plants. Another way that I use my watering wands is here in my potato gardens. I just set up 4 of these sprayers on a PVC wand, and I'm able to water my potato trash can beds, which I've set up to grow my red potatoes. They grow really great in here. As you can see, I have one already coming up here. Gotta cover it up, keep it covered, but I put potting soil in these trash cans with some manure or compost to give it good aeration, good flow through the trash can. You don't want to put garden soil in the trash can or sand. It's just going to get clogged, and no matter how large you drill your holes on the bottom, your trash cans will eventually get bogged down and the potatoes will die. So I use a compost mixture with potting soil and manure. I put manure on every year in these little trash cans, and it grows my potatoes really well. And I set up these wands, 4 sprayers at a time. It's very easy to regulate 4 versus 6. I've done up to 6, but I just find it's harder to get them to evenly water if I have more than 4. So that's what I do with my trash can potato bed. I just have several of these sprayers connected up, and with my quick connect fittings right here on the end, I just hook up a hose and water 4 of the potato beds at a time. And give it about 5-10 minutes, they fill up in that amount of time. If you want to learn more about organic gardening and how to build a watering grid system like this, check out greenlivingoffgrid.com, where I have a number of videos courses on organic gardening, hydroponics, aquaponics, and various things that can help you sustain a healthy life through fresh, homegrown vegetables. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.